Hey, what's up? So, I thought it was time for another tutorial because it's been quite a while and something came up in the song that I just played that I thought I remember some people asking about how you do it. So, this is my way of doing it, and I thought I could give you a few tips on what works for me, and hopefully it works for you. You can try it and see if you don't already know how to do this. So at the end of the solo in this song, there's a sweep section, and I have a few tips on how I learned it, basically. So the first thing is know your major triads, know the sound of the major triad, because it's a very common sound and it comes back in a lot of songs. And the triad is basically the most common sweep that you find. And so basically this sweep section is all major triads. It's just major triads in different shapes, and that's all there is to it theoretically. Of course, that doesn't make it any easier from a technical perspective, but it does help maybe with understanding where to play the notes. There are various ways, various positions in which you can play this particular sweep, but I checked the live video, and so the way I was initially trying to play it is not how Tommy played it, so I changed it, and now it is in the same positions that he plays it live. So I'll first run you through the whole section at a slower speed, and then I'll break it down a little bit for you so you know what's going on, and you know where everything is, and hopefully you can then start practicing it by yourself at home as well. So one tip before we start is, train your ear to recognize these major triads because they come back everywhere. Like, for example, if you saw my latest revocation video, there was a major triad sweep in there as well. It was pretty much exactly the same thing. That was it. So that comes back in so many songs. So if you know the sound, then you know the shape. So just remember it and practice it and you'll get it. So anyway, this is the section in the Coroner song, just on its own. So let's break it down. So we start on an A major triad, which has this shape. So basically we have two triads played one after the other. So the first one goes like this. So that starts on your fifth scale degree, or fifth degree of the chord, the E, the 12th fret on your E string. I should say we're technically playing an E flat because this is E flat standard tuning, and that's what the song is in. That's what my guitar is tuned to currently. But for all intents and purposes, I'll just refer to everything as if we were in E standard. So E, then to your C sharp, and then to your root note A. So this is the note that makes it a major versus a minor chord. Can you hear the difference if I play that versus... Can you hear the difference? I hope you can, and if you can't currently, then just practice it until you get the sound in your head, because this is definitely a thing that you need to know in order to progress your playing, I think, and it'll only do you good to know it. So that's the first part of that, and then going down, so okay, fret numbers, 12, 12, 9, then on the B string, 10, then down another triad, another A major triad in root position. That's the 9th fret on your G string, then 11 on D, and then 12 on A, so that's your octave there. So that's the whole first bit, and this shape is always the beginning shape every time you move up. a step or a half step, that's your shape. It's exactly the same shape every time. Same shape, and again, same shape. So you might think, why am I playing this without looking at the fretboard? It's because it's the same shape. You just have to feel the frets, and you'll be able to, you'll be able to hear that you're playing it correctly. You don't need to look at your hands once you've got the muscle memory down. So yeah, and then you have to come back up, which I personally find a little harder to do, maybe just because I have less practice doing it. And I looked at the right hand, the way that Tommy picks it live, and he kind of goes like this. I'm exaggerating now, but he goes closer towards the headstock when he does an ascending sweep. So that's basically what I also did in order to get more of a clean sound when I'm doing ascending sweeps, because I find that it's a little harder to get that to sound clean. So that's my tip for you if you're struggling with that, rather than just raking it straight like you see a lot of people do, and that's fine. Just try and go up a little bit, and maybe that will make it sound cleaner. So it's again exactly the same shape up. So this was down, and then we go back up. And you can just kind of do that, practice it, like set your timer for 5 minutes, set a metronome to a speed that works for you, and just go. And one thing you want to be mindful of, and this is something that I'm also still working on, and I'm sure a lot of players have to still work on it, is getting all the notes in. Sometimes you might miss a note, and as a result, your sweep is less clean and has a less full sound to it. So this is the second tip, tip number 2. Try and segment the triads in your head so that you focus on the next starting point, or whatever note that you feel you're missing out, try and focus on it. So for me, that was the next route up. So I'd play the first triad, no problem, but then I'd get to this next starting point, and I'd often miss it. So I spent some time kind of focusing on that and going. And it sounds odd, but sometimes you just have to focus on the weaknesses and work them out till they become your strengths, hopefully at some point. So the whole shape is this. So just practice that, and eventually you'll get it. Now the next part is the tapping. So it's still just an A major triad in this position. It's still exactly the same notes. You're still playing your A and your C sharp and your E, just the 1, 3, 5. And the only difference is that you're involving your right hand as well as your left hand. So we start with a tap on the A on the 17th fret on your E string. And then we pull off from E to C sharp. And then you move your right hand over, so your left hand stays in the same position while your right hand moves over to do another tap on the high E here on your 12th fret on your E string. Oh, my bad. And then you get a tap out of nowhere, or a legato out of nowhere with your left hand, so you get. The other thing you need to do while you're tapping with your right hand is also pull off with your right hand. So obviously, first I tap, then I pull off to get to that high E, and then I move my hand to get to this high E with my right hand. So that's your first tap triad, so to speak. And then once you've done that tap on the 12th string, you want to move down to your C sharp on the B string, which is on your 14th fret. And then we hammer on again with the left hand. So, and then it's the same position on the G string, so tap again on the 14th fret, and now is your A. And you can get away with finishing your tap sweep there, but if you want to make it extra complete, you know, have all the 12 notes, then you can also hammer on to the C sharp on the D string on your 11th fret, and then move up. So that was this is the whole thing. So that's your whole shape, and that shape just gets moved up a few times. So what I like to do to not get too confused about where I'm going is to remember where I put my pinky on the left hand, and then, you know, I can't explain how the brain works, but you just, you know, you can just kind of feel where you have to go, what the distance is after a while. So when I have to go here, and then I move up, I have to go here, it just becomes, once you've practiced it a bit, it becomes second nature basically. So all the distances in terms of tones, semitones, stay the same as you move the shape up. It's always just that major triad shape. And yeah, I'll play the whole thing for you at a slower speed, and you'll see what I mean. So that's the whole thing. So again, trying to visualize it, I lead with the highest position, the highest place that I'm putting my left hand, which will always be the pinky. So I always remember, put your pinky on the 12th fret first, then put the pinky on the 14th fret, which is the F sharp, and then put the pinky on the G, which is the 15th fret, and then put the pinky on the end on the A, so you get that final chord. And for the taps, what I did is just to try and remember it is just remember the first tap and then work from there. So in the case of the first iteration of the whole shape, start on the 17th fret with my tap, then on the next iteration I go to the 19th fret, and then I go to the 20th fret, and finally I go here to the 22nd fret. So that's my top tips for playing the sweeps in this particular solo. So number 1 was know your major triads, know what they sound like, and know the shapes. Number 2 was find the right way to do the ascending sweep if you're having trouble with that. Number 3 was focus on any areas that you might be struggling with. Like for me it was the second triad and the ascending sweep, so I had to start focusing on the beginning of that. And then finally, remember your shapes. Just remember your positions, that's all. So I hope that helps a bit if you had been wanting to learn this solo. I'm not going to do the whole solo because frankly, I mean it's an amazing solo, and I did my best to learn it, and I learned it, you know, I tried to make it sound good in any case, but I can't play it the way Tommy plays it because his phrasing and yeah, the way he plays it is just incredible, and it's very personal to him, the style that he plays it in. So maybe he'll do a full tutorial on it someday, but it's beyond me to explain like the little stylistic and rhythmic patterns that he uses is really very special and really awesome, actually. So it was nice to try and channel some of that energy for sure. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something good out of this tutorial, especially for my man James, who's disappeared off the face of the planet, but don't think I've forgotten you, because I remember what you said about sweeping. So I hope this helps a little bit with that for anybody who's trying to get better at sweep picking, as I always am as well, although I'm lazy with it, to be honest. But if a song requires it, then I will do my best to learn it. And so this is what I learned on my journey trying to learn this song. I hope I have imparted it on you in a most succinct way, because I have rambled a bit, haven't I? But anyway, enjoy playing, and I'll see you next time. Thanks!